All right. Okay. Thank you. Welcome to my studio. Um, Lynn and Kerry have painted with me before. We did the sunflowers a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, so welcome, Nicole. This is my studio. You can see all the mess in the background. There's some art supplies there. Um, yeah, I think I have a bit of an obsession with art supplies, but there's worse things I could do, isn't there? Yeah. Anyway, we're going to paint some roses tonight. So I
Mhm.
did this in my sketchbook. Let me show. There we go.
Beautiful.
There we go. So I did them all front view or top view, looking like down onto them. But I did have a play around during the week with some I don't know if you can see. I was painting some cards so I've got a big order of cards, and I decided to go side view. So that's a side view of a rose sort of thing. So there's that one. Did some yellow as well. Um, so what we need to, that one probably showed nicely. There we are.
That's
Um,
beautiful. Yeah.
we want to try and leave some white behind so that it gives you somewhere to go. And if it's too much white, you can always cover it over rather than trying to bring it back with using something like gouache or a pen or something. So that's what we're going
Yeah.
to try and do tonight is leave a bit of the white behind while we're doing it.
So which one
Um,
are we doing?
which one?
Which,
Oh,
from the top,
both.
are we doing this one?
Go both.
Oh gosh, okay.
So we'll do some warm-ups as we always do. We do some warm-ups. I've just got a scrap bit of paper here. I'm going to use the back side of it for some warm-ups. And then we will go on and paint as many as we can fit in on a page and get that done. So we're still going to remember that when we're painting in watercolors, we paint in layers. So we, for those that have painted with me before, we paint in basically three layers, and we think of the consistency of the paint and the water. So we think our first layer is tea, our second layer is milk, and our third layer is honey. We also think of the amount that we're painting is our tea layer is the biggest amount. Then we add on some smaller milk layer. It's not as much, but it's more concentrated paint. And our final layer is the very last little details of our honey. And that is just the very little details. Okay, I made this up. So tea, tea plus milk, tea plus milk plus honey. You can see it's just got some really dark, very concentrated paint. So when you're mixing it up on your palette, um, water, a lot of water and a little bit of pigment. For our second layer, it's, oh, look, I don't think it's 50-50, but it's certainly more paint. And in our last layer of honey, we take it straight out of the palette with just a little bit of water. So it's really quite thick. Let me show you what I did here. Okay, so this is an artwork that I've finished. And
Beautiful.
what I did, I photographed, that's my tea layer of the same artwork. All right, it's loose. It also means if I don't like the placement of something, firstly, I can mop it back up with some tissue or toilet paper or something. And it also means that I can push it back into the background if I don't like it. I don't have to add anything more to it. It can just be in the background. So that is my tea layer. So very loose, very watery, but not too much water. Okay. same artwork, and that's on my second layer where I've added some more, another layer of a milk consistency. So a bit thicker. And you can see I've added it in places where you can just see it's darker and it's more vibrant. And you can see there, you can see I've added it here. All right. And in the center, so I've darkened up the center. Look at this flower. So I've really darkened up the center compared to that one. I've really darkened up the center and then brought it out with just clean water. And then to finish it off, that's the finished artwork. And my honey layer is just these bits where I've used it to separate the petals out. Instead of having a blob, I've used it to separate the petals out. And that's all it is. And it's the absolute smallest part of the artwork. So you can see that honey, I've just used it up here. We don't have to outline each petal, but just to give it some definition so you can lift the petals away from each other and to give it some definition that way. Okay, let's talk roses. Here's a little one that I've done. Okay, so we're going to start with a tea layer, really light, loose, and we're using a mark with our brush that is just a letter C here. All the way around we do letter C's. So with our brush, this is the brush I'm going to use. It's just a small round. Oh, I've got a number 4. So if you've got a 6 or 8, it doesn't matter. But the mark that we're going to be doing is just a small round letter C. But I'll switch the camera around and show you. All right. So we'll start off with our tea layer, and then we'll add a bit more depth to it with our milk layer and finish off with our honey after that. The other thing that I wanted to show you tonight, just as something extra, I know. Here we are. I did say to you, I'm going to use a kebab stick, but you can use the end of your brush, the back end of your brush as well, for doing the veins in the leaves. There you go. You can see there's veins there. Anyway, that was something else I thought. I got it there. It's sitting here so I don't forget. All right. I might switch the camera around and I'll show you what I mean by using letter C's to make a rose. One sec. There we are. Okay. Right, now I'm right. Okay, got everyone now. All right. Now, the other thing we didn't talk about was my palette and what I'm going to be using. This is my palette. This is my palette that sits on my desk. Look, it's my favorite at the moment. This is my favorite. It's my easy palette that I'm loving the colors at the moment, and I'm loving how they mix. It just works for me. It's very light, sits on my desk, and it's handy. It's not too big. I have plenty of other palettes. I've got a big ceramic one as well, but this is my go-to. This brand is my Jello Mission. It's not a paint that you can get very easily here in Australia. I've actually just got some actual paint coming from Korea. It's a Korean brand. And I also like a lot of Japanese brands as well. So if you're looking around and you want some information, just ask in the Facebook group or wherever. Send me a message if you're not sure about brands. But this is called My Jello Mission. I love it because it's really quite vibrant and I can get the colours that I like. And it comes down to a personal thing. So this is my palette. Now I have activated the palette already so that we didn't have to fiddle around. I use a spray bottle just to lightly mist over the colours that the colours that I'm going to be using, which I haven't even decided yet. Greens. So I give them a spray and that activates them and it wakes them. It's waking them up. And then they like to sit for a little bit beforehand as well, just to let the water soften into the paint and get things, just get them a bit moving around. Let me just, oh, and I've got my 2 jars of water here as well. Just see that. There we are. All right. So one I try to keep clean and one is for washing my brush off. Let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to go straight in to pick up some paint. It's just a little bit of paint on the tip of my brush. So we kind of start a little darker with roses and then blend it out. The mark with our brush is a letter C. I'm holding my brush really quite loosely and I tend to come back a fair way on my brush as well. But that said, with roses, I start off small in the middle and then going out to a bigger mark using the side of my brush as well. Let me show you. The letter C. It's just that, a letter C. And I'm going to do that in different directions all the way around. And that's exactly the darkness I want for my rose. My brush is a bit small. I'm going to go some little C's in the middle, like that. Okay. And it's a bit dry. All right. And then once I've done that, I'm going to soften it all off with a lot of water. A lot of water, just water on my brush, and I'm just going to soften it off. And remember what I said, trying to leave a little bit of white. Okay. And you can go out as far if you like. I'm going to change brush. That's a bit small for me. But, so in the center, I'm just going to soften that off a little bit as well. But I'm still going to try and leave a little bit of white. Okay. All right, what's my next one? There we are. I'm going to go to the number 8 round brush. It's quite a bit bigger. I don't think I've got a number 6, but that would be perfect. Anyway, so little C's in the middle. Going out to bigger C's, that's what's working better for me now. I've got more body of my brush, so I've got bigger C's and I'm using more of the brush instead of the tip. The tip in the center to make tight petals, and then the outside is bigger and wetter as well as I go out. And then I can soften that off in there. In there. I'm not overly worried. I've lost some tissues. There they are. It's a bit, I've lost a bit of definition here. It's a bit bland, if that's the word. So I'm just going to pick up a bit more paint and drop it in while it's wet. This is also a good time to experiment while it's wet and dropping in different colors as well. So I'm going to pick up a bit of yellow and I'm going to drop it in while it's wet and let it do its thing. That makes some really interesting colors. That's the other thing that I like to have in my hand is a tissue, so that if this I could pull back, just dab it back with just the tissue. I'm just going to pull some of that back and then come back with the paint again and give it a bit more definition. That's better, liking that better. How's everyone going?
Concentrating.
Here we're going to go. Whether it's any good, I have no idea.
It doesn't matter. It's just play.
It's true.
It's just play.
Got to start somewhere.
Exactly. Look, it's what can go wrong? What can go wrong? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. While they're drying, so we'll just do a couple. I've got an ant here. It's random. We'll have a go at some rose leaves. I should have had a photo for you. Well, this will do. There's I kind of remember them. I didn't look it up. There's 3 parts to a rose leaf. Usually it's 1, 2, and 3. So I'm just going to give the impression of 3 little leaves. Rose leaves have more of a serrated edge. So I'm just going into my green. Picking up. So that's my green and that's my tea. You can see that sitting on my palette. It's all very watery. The mark that you want to do for your leaves, I'm holding it lightly, and we want tip, body, tip. So we've got a regular leaf, but give it a wiggle as we do it. So tip, wriggle the body, and then lift it up. And that'll give you more of a rougher edge as well. It's about using your brush to make the mark. I'm going to go the other way as well and thicken that up like that. And there's one leaf. While it's wet, I'm going to add in some colour. I pick up a bit of brown and there we are. I like that. Make it interesting. I've just dropped a bit of brown in there. Let's do another one. Tip, body, and bring it up to the tip again. And I'll put another one out that side so we've got 3. Tip, body, tip. Drop a bit of brown in just to make it interesting. If you drop some colour in and you don't like it, you can either pick it up with your brush, move it around a little bit. I don't mind that. There we are. Okay. I might give mine a bit of a dry off because they haven't dried. Yes, I'm just going to dry mine off so I can show you the next layer. Art, audio. Okay. Probably going to jump around a little bit with brush sizes. I'm liking this one. I think, and I've left quite a lot of white and I'm liking that. So I just want to pick up a bit of definition here. So a bit of depth where to separate that out. So this is my next layer. I'm just a bit more and less water. There we are. Just that. And I'm just going to still, the mark is still a letter C. And it's a little more swoopy out here and up here and in here. Now before that dries, I'm going to soften the edges. I've washed off my brush and I'm just going to soften the edges just to blend that out a little bit. Dab that off on my brush, on my tissue. There we are. Oh, there we are. Just softening off the edges so it's not so hard. There. And I think the only thing that's going to need is what would be my honey layer is just a bit of definition in the center, maybe a little bit here. So I'm going to go straight in here to my paint, little C's in the center, and a little bit here. Just where it might need a bit more depth. And then soften it off. Okay, there we are. It's better. Hard and soft edges. So when I talk about hard and soft edges, it's we'll paint. So we'll add a line if it's a line or an outline or something, and I've got that. Then I'm going to soften off one edge or both, and I just soften off the edges just with a little bit of water and blend it all the way back out to clear. There you go. Oh, is that better? Is that okay? You can see that? That looks pretty dark, that one. It's a bit hard to see. Um, All right. Let me see what I can do with this one. So I'm going back into this one with my my milk, just to give it a bit more interest here. So this is kind of like a big blob. And they're bigger letter C's as we go out, a bigger curve of a letter C, and then soften it off. Okay. Don't forget I added a little bit of yellow into this one as well, so I'm going to add that back in here so I don't lose that. And then this one, I think it just needs a little bit more definition in here, more of my honey layer, just in the center. So little C's in the center, going out to bigger, swoopier C's out the outside, and trying to leave a little bit of white for the highlights. It's just it's a round and round and round motion, more or less. Okay. All right. Got the idea? No. Okay. So while we're playing, let me show you how I did more of a side view. And it's instead of doing circles, my center is more of an oval. Still going back in here. Where will I put it? Okay. More ovals. So for my center, it's more of an oval. There's still letter C's. And then a lot more swoopier at the front, wider letter C's at the front, and little, still swoopy, but less at the back. And then the front, I'll just come down with just water, giving it some shape. And then I'll soften off a little bit here where it's just a bit hard. Just soften it off. And I'm still going in sort of oval, circular, oval marks here. That looks all right. we could bring a bit down here and a bit of darkness underneath, all while it's still wet, letting it could get fussy, but I'm getting fussy. And then we could add some leaves underneath, grab something a bit darker. Some leaves underneath, so what are it called? The sepals underneath, just by using my brush. And I'm happy to do that while it's wet as well. And then one more coming down the front like that. And I've got a stem. And there we go. I think it kind of works. There you go. Ovals, so circles for top view and ovals for side view. Okay. Okay, are we ready to make a whole page of them? No,
We can try.
we can try. That's all we do.
These are hard.
Yeah, they're probably not the easiest flower. Poor Nicole's come in on something hard.
Somebody else off the deep end.
Yes, that's it.
Why not?
They're just lettuces, and it's just about softening off the edges. Nothing more than that. Lettuces, small in the middle, going out to bigger, swoopier C's around it, and then softening it all off. Probably less of the process of tea, milk, and honey, but we still work within that idea. Okay. What did I do? I did, so the other one I did was A4. So many pages. Show you. There's my original. Okay, big swoopy. They're kind of cabbagey. This one, no. This one, it's not even a rose. It's just there in the background. That's where it's just there. I tend to paint 3, 5, 7, so odd numbers. Some can be buds even. But we'll just put a few on a page with some stems and some leaves if we get to that. I'm going to work across diagonally in mine. I stick with the same colour, I suppose. I'll go back to my, no, I don't. Yeah, I'm going to go back. If I had a number 6 brush, let's see. I think that would be perfect. But, no. There we go. I need to buy something. Okay, I'm going to go back to my number. Sorry? An excuse to go and buy something.
What's that?
So I'm going back to my number 8.
Colour.
Yeah. All right, we'll stick with the same. We'll go with this magenta. I liked it with the yellow. So I'm just going to have it on just some on the tip as well. I think I'll do side view up the top and then some front view. So we'll start with that up here, up in the top corner. Little circles, little letter C's in an oval. Bigger, swoopier. Little swoops at the top and then bigger at the bottom. And then with just some water on my brush, I'm just going to bring that down. Okay. Even have a leaf petal going out that way. Okay. There's my first one. I might just soften that off a little bit, but I'm going to leave some white. There we are. There's my first one. Could even soften it off even more. Drop a little bit of yellow in. Make it interesting. Okay. All right. Next one. So if we fill it all in, we'll do a few. And while the first one's drying, we'll just keep going and we'll add the first layer of a few flowers and then we might be able to go back and do the second layer. So we let them dry and then come back. What I'm going to do with my puddle is to just change it ever so slightly here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of green into that and it will just neutralize the color a little bit and make it just a little bit more interesting. There we are. Just a little bit different. So, because no two roses are ever the same. Front view. Little C's. Going out to swoopier. Just trying to leave a little bit of white in between them. And if they touch between them, I'm okay with that as well. There we are. A little bit of just clean water on my brush, and I'm just going to soften that off a little bit, especially around the edges, just so that that's ever so soft out the sides. Get a little bit more. What I could do there, since I can go back into my magenta because that was my main color, pick up a little bit of that and just add it to the center and maybe a little bit around. Let it blend there. There we go. I think the more that you do, the more it becomes an easier thing to do. Easier mark to make, and that's all we're doing is making marks. Go back. I might even try a bit of red in that puddle now. Like this one will make it just a little bit different. Ooh, that's a pretty color. Now, because I've used the same base color, which is this magenta, and I've added a bit of green to make it a bit more neutralized, and now I've just added a bit of red in as well. It's the same color, so I can then come back into my magenta to do the highlights of that. Little C's in the center, swoopier around the outside. Just a bit of clean water on my brush. There we are. I'm going to add a bit of yellow into that one. Might make it kind of a peachy color, just a little bit. There we are. All right. I'll keep going. See how many you get done, and then we'll do some, once the first one's dry-ish, we'll start and we'll go back onto that and add the details. Oh, what have I done? 3. I've got to add another 4. All right, I'm going to go sideways. There we are. Just a sideways one in the background. We may not even pick up much more on that one. There we go. I think I like this one the best. It's nice and pale. It's pretty. If I can get that colour back. All right. Out. Okay. A bit darker. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. I've got 5.
I've got 3
Right.
somewhere.
Right. Okay. Okay. While they're drying, I can add some stems. I think I'll stick with 5. Looks like it's working for me. So I'm going to add some stems. Now, when I'm adding stems, I look at the direction that the rose is going. So this one, its stem will be going straight down. This one is probably more on an angle. So it's really about looking at how I've painted them and where they're coming from and where they're going to. I'm just going to pick up some light of the green. I'm starting with that one at the center, so that's my main one, and it's kind of straight. So I'm going to give it a stem that way. That one, 2. This one is more that way, and that one, I'll go here. I'm reasonably happy with that. I've made sure I've given enough stems for flowers because that would look weird if it wasn't quite right. And I'm going to add a bit of leaves. There we are. It's a nice loose blue-green colour. And my leaves. Anybody else up to stems? No.
Just
Oh,
stems.
Oh, need some help? Want to show
not.
me? No?
Oh, I can show you, but I'm getting there. It's just.
Getting there.
Oh, here we go. Near my body.
Good. Yeah, yeah.
It's okay. Prefer to go here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's good? I'm
Yep.
going to add some leaves in because the more I look at it, I think it's a bit out of balance. I'll try and bring some leaves in. There we are. And this way, there's 1. So remember, they're kind of in groups of 3, the leaves. Do a stem and some leaf that way. And another one out this way. And there. Bit of water, soften it off. Add some brown if you want to add some brown into your leaves, just to make them interesting. Oh, you know what I didn't show you? I forgot. I had the kebab stick and everything. Right. Okay, while that's wet, I'm going to show you how I get the veins in my leaves. Wonder if I can bring that down a little bit. Excuse the noise. I'm going to come down just a little bit. Oh. No, that's a little closer. Let me show you. I'm using a kebab stick, but you can use the end of your paintbrush. kebab stick works much better. All I'm doing, making the lines where the veins are. And it's best to do it while it's still wet. And then the paint will actually sit into those little grooves that you've just made. And it makes veins. There we go. Let's bring that up a bit closer. There you go.
Brilliant.
It just works. It just works. There you go. Kebab stick. Perfect. I've probably got, oh, look, they've got paint on them and all sorts of things, but I use that. Kebab stick's really handy. All right.
I'll need to buy some kebabs.
You can buy just the sticks.
Okay.
Oh, they come in great big bags of them. I went like hundreds. I'll add a few more leaves and then we can go back onto our roses. We can, but another one maybe coming down that way. And then really it's a bit of loose, add some brown into my leaves. Okay. Adding a bit of leaves around as well, so they're not so, I want a bit of that. I want some leaves out the side from here. And this is where things might go back into the background a little bit. That one's some. That one. Okay. Oops, that one. Bit of brown in that one. I'm gonna add a little bit of green in here as well, just between my roses, and a little bit out in the background as well. And it's just really loose, just to give the impression of other leaves in the background. That's a little bit of dry brushing technique. Did we talk about dry brushing last week or the week before? I think we did. Anyway, while this is still wet, I'm just going to darken up in here in the places where it might be dark, just to give it a bit of contrast as well. Okay. I think that's coming along. Right. And also, just by picking up some really, really watery paint, you can add a little bit into the background, which could be more roses in the background, and push it back. Just so it's almost like staining the paper in the background. See what I've done there in the top? Just, it's almost staining the color. And sometimes I'll even use a bit of my dirty water that will make some interesting watermarks as well, just to fill in places. A bit of pink down here and here. Right. Okay. Might give mine a dry, and while you catch up, I'll give mine a bit of a dry. 1 second. Nicole, that's my dryer. It's just a little heat gun.
Okay.
I think you can get different ones from Spotlight. I got that on Amazon. They're just
Oh,
really they're little. They're about $20, I think. Um, and it just sits beside me. I have everything, like my desk is just set up ready to go. So that's my heat gun. Um,
I brought my hairdryer.
the hairdryer works well. It maybe just I don't know. I don't
That
know.
hot?
Well, you can turn the heat down on a hairdryer, but these only have one setting. It's not the heat, I don't think. I think it's the more the aggressiveness of the um air that's coming out.
Fair enough.
It just works. I don't know why. I think Michelle painted and it was hers was too wet and it just went splattering everywhere. But that was okay. That's okay. All right. Um, stick with the bigger brush. For me, using a bigger brush makes me stay looser. So if you think about bigger marks, juicier, mushier marks with your brush, stay big. You can always come down and use the very tip of the brush as well. So you can always use just the tip, but I think with a bigger brush, you've got the body to use as well, more so than anything else. All right, I'm up to my milk layer, so I'm just going to pick up a bit more paint in here. And my first one was more the straight color. So I'm just going to use that. I'm just wiping most of that off on my, so I've got just a bit on my brush, not too much. I'm just going to pick up where the darkest darks might be. So under here, there might be a petal under here. And in here, it's going to be darker. And just in them right in the center as well. Here, maybe under here. And then I'm just going to separate, soften off those bottom edges. Just blend that off nicely. Just soften it off in here, here. Each layer just gets that little bit less and less that you do to it. I'm feeling like if I was looking at a bunch of flowers, it would be darker under here as well. This is like underneath the rose. So I'm going to add a bit under here as well and soften that back up. Just blend it out. A lot of just clean water on my brush. Just going to bring that up there. That looks a bit better. I did have a bit of yellow, so I'm going to just drop a bit of yellow back into this one in places. Yeah. Looks all right. All right, so that's more my side on one. It's over here. All right, my next one. Now, this one had, I neutralized it a bit with a bit of green because green is the opposite color in the color wheel. So if you want to change the color, rather than using just your straight colors out of your palette, mix them up and experiment. Yeah, add a bit of purple and see what kind of color you get. Every little color in your palette is going to be different. So just experiment with mixing different colors with them. So I'm just going to add a little bit of green into that. Any green really. Oh, that I think that might have been too much. Oh no, I'll go with that. It's still magenta, but it's kind of more brown. Let's see. I can always come back and add more magenta in before it dries. Bigger, smushier C's all the way out. There. And just going to soften off some of those marks. Okay. Now I am going to just pick up that magenta and drop it in places just to bring it back to that rich pinky colour rather than brown. There we are. It's all right. And I think, any painting that you do, and especially with a bunch of roses, there'll be roses that you like more than others. Some work, some don't. Sometimes they just, might. And you're best to just pull things back. If you don't like them, then rather than fiddle too much, use a bit of tissue and pull it back. It's still not right. I don't know. And I don't like it. I'm going to let it dry rather than keep fiddling. All right. This one was really pale.
Oh, it looks beautiful to me. Which mine look like that.
It doesn't have enough depth. It's a bit too much of a blob at the moment.
Yeah, that's mine.
I'm just going to pick up just some areas that might be a little darker. And that one was really a really pale rose, that one. So trying to keep it pale. I did that. Yeah, it's all right. One. Oh, no. Oh, I went red, didn't I? I forgot about that. Now let me see if I can fix that. Put it out of there. Okay, so we had this colour first. Then I added some green. We went to that colour, and then I added some red. Probably that one. Oh, that's a nice colour. There we go. It's playing with colour and it is just play. And you're always learning. Mhm. Hmm. And this one in the background, I can't remember what that was. We'll go a bit more of that in there. Funny. I can look straight down on it and think I hate it, and then I look at what I've painted on the screen and it doesn't look too bad. And that's what even when we're painting in a in-person workshop, it's one thing to be sitting there looking over the top of it, but if you hold it up and step away from it, it'll look great. I should take that more often. There we go. All right. A little bit more. So I think the main thing to remember is The marks are just a letter C. Some are small in the center, and then as you go out, they're a bit more swoopier and more open as well. If you keep that in your mind, little C's in the center going out to bigger C's all the way around, upside down, sideways, all the way around. That's all it is. Hmm. Okay. Keep and I know when to walk away. Hmm. Okay. Did anybody have a go at doing their leaves with the back of their brush? You did? Good.
Yeah.
I know, but it was too dry.
Yeah,
So
it's something that, and I forget all the time.
it's all
You
good. I ended up doing it with a brush.
Yeah, good. You can always do it on the next layer as well. It doesn't have to be the first layer. You can do it on the second layer. And to do that.
I think my leaves are the best things on the page.
Awesome. Well, but it's all learning, no matter, and then, build on that. They take practice. They really do.
Mm.
Oh, look, the more I'm looking at mine,
I'll have it. You can have mine.
Lynn, you can have it. It's yours.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't look like flowers. They look like pom-poms.
Oh, look, I don't. Look. Oh, from a distance, it looks much better.
Stunning.
Oh,
Florida Picasso from a distance, it looks good.
awesome. That's it.
One of mine looks like a lollipop. I'm going to have to try and do something about that. But otherwise,
Yeah, look, and
tolerable.
it's play. It's thinking about, it's practice. So practice on direction of, sometimes you'll be, let me find, let me show you if there's anything here. It's direction, and it really is. Um, Even in that one I painted of the jonquils, um, it's looking at, sometimes they end up a funny direction. So that one's facing that way. And you just got to look at how they go, especially the way I like to paint. I don't draw, I don't do an outline or anything. So sometimes they can go in their own direction.
Mm.
Um, that sunflower that I did one sunflower, and when I went back and looked, I thought, oh, it really does have a direction. How I painted it just happened that way. So you got to look at the direction of um, where the stem would be coming in relation to the flower, and they all change. Sometimes you'll end up, swoopier marks at the bottom, and you think, okay, well, it's definitely pointing in that direction. Um, it just adds to the looseness. I could pick up some darker in here now that it's dried. I pick up some darker bits and soften it off. There we go. I'm liking just in places, and it's just about, and here we're just separating out the petals a little bit, just out straight out of that magenta. So that was my main color that I was using. And I'm just picking up some edges. Ooh, that was a bit dark. If you think you've done something dark, soften it off and pull it back with a tissue. And sometimes you can get the best marks of all then. I could keep playing. Stop. Stop. All right. I'm going to give mine some splatters because I think it needs, as a composition, I'm a little off. When I post it to you, Lynn, you might like to cut that off. You can do whatever you like with it, but I'll post it to you and you can have it.
It. I was just joking, but I'll
No,
have it.
no, there you go. My gift to you.
Thank you. I can just say, look what my
There you
teacher
go.
did.
You could cut it off, or just frame. It's A4, so it's easily framed. But I'm going to add some splatters. So I find splatters give it a bit more atmosphere, and a bit more movement. So I've just picked up a really watery bit off my palette of the same shade, and I'm just going to tap my brush and add that here and there. And I think I just got it on my glasses. Anyway, there we are. Some good splatters. I think that fixed it. There we go. I'll dry that off. While you're finishing off, I will dry mine.
Touching it, not making it any better.
If you dry it off and it's rolled a little bit, which mine has, just back roll it. And you can also, if it has rolled and you finished it, you can always pop it between some books and that will flatten it out nicely, but that's okay. All right. Go back here. All right. There's mine.
Oh, stunning.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's
I
you
just
know what?
can't get that shape.
It's just practice, and if you just keep that in your mind that they are just letter C's. It's just that mark, and even if you go round in circles, leaving some white, that and then bring it all together. Small in the center, moving out to bigger around the outside. And to get it on its angle, a top view or on its angle, it's oval. And then ovals, and then bigger smush marks around the bottom.
Yeah.
Because if you were looking at it, that would have like a solid petal on that side of it. So,
Yeah.
um, you know what that I like the most is these things, these marks in here, and it's just green, only just. There's a little bit of pink, There's a bit more up the top. And they were just like loose, very loose brush marks. And I think it just gives it a bit more depth. If you're thinking the vibrancy of the colors going out to very light out in the background. So that's what's giving a bit more depth to it as well. I think that dropping the bit of brown in on the leaves makes it interesting. But other than that, it's the same as what we did with the sunflowers, where we separated out the petals just that little bit, just to find some edges as well.
Okay. Well, that's mine.
Let me see if I can change my view back. Beautiful. Oh, you've done really well.
This is.
The side, yeah, and the side view, that looks
Yeah.
great. They look great. With your purple ones, show me again. Just show me again. All it needs is just a bit more depth, like your honey layer in the center.
Two at the moment. I keep putting stuff on, but it just goes more blobby. So
Oh, it needs to dry then.
I think it's too wet.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you just came back once it's dry and did the honey layer and then just soften little bits off, that'll just pick up that little bit of definition that it's missing. That's all.
Okay.
But it looks, I think you've done a great job. And they're not
I do,
easy.
With the
I do
leaves
too.
first.
Show me, Carrie.
It's not as good as Lynn's.
Oh, it's stunning.
I love
Look,
it.
I've got all this white paper.
Yeah, but then so did I. So, yeah, no, I didn't work out my composition very well. But that's okay.
It's going to be, they're too blobby.
Yeah,
They're
mine.
too,
Oh, well, dry it off. Keep going with it. Have another go at it tomorrow once it's dry with that honey layer.
it's not one of my favourite ones to paint.
There you go. There you go. Yeah.
I had to go with song quills during the week because you sent all the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it worked
Quite
well?
happy. Yeah, a friend of mine, she's stuck in Mildura with a broken ankle. So I
Oh,
took a photo of it and I said, here's some flowers for you.
oh, that's lovely. How did you go, Nicole?
Not happy with the leaves, but that's my attempt.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Good.
The whole
Yeah.
page. Did well. Wow.
That's
But the
beautiful.
leaves are a bit unhappy.
Oh,
Give them another layer.
I was working on that.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I can't get that layer right. It's not quite, you know what I'm trying to say.
And it's just practice. And it's just, if you think about that original picture, here we are. So your tea, milk, and honey. And your honey layer is just sometimes my honey layer I will even do with a really fine brush. That one, that's called a rigger. If you can see that, there we are. Really fine brush. It's called a rigger, where I am just going straight in with into my palette. Oh. So I'll go straight, it's a bit hard to see, straight into the colour. There we are, straight into the colour with that brush and pick it up on that. So it's just on the tip and I'll apply it with that. And maybe then I'll come back with a smaller brush and soften it off.
Kind of like a fine liner brush. I think we've got
Fine
one.
liner, same thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so that's my rigger fine liner, same thing. But they're really, really, really fine. Yeah, it's a good brush to have. Really fine. But that said, the tip of any brush should come back to a nice fine point. I think we used there. My mop brush. Here it is. So I think we used the mop brush the first time, which is a good basic brush, and I sell one of this version on the website. The mop brush is good because it holds a lot of water and it comes back to a really good point as well. It's
Oh.
also got a good length to the brushes, to the
Right, okay.
part of it. So you can
It's
get
a little
good,
different to one I've got. It's more like a flat. Right, okay, I don't know if you can see that at all. It's more flat.
yeah.
That's what was sold as a mop brush, and I'm like, okay, I'll pick that
Oh,
up. But I
okay.
think it's more like a cross between a filbert and
Yeah. Well, yeah, actually
like
that
a
says
thick
mop.
filbert.
That says
That's the
mop.
kind. Yeah, yeah. So it's not quite right.
The other name for that. Can't think. Can't
It's
think.
like a thicker round brush,
Oh, a
in a way,
quill.
isn't it? A
It's
quill.
a
Okay,
quill.
I'll look for that.
Yeah, a quill brush is another name
Thank
for
you.
that one. Yeah, but they come back to a really nice point.
They do. Lovely point on them.
Yeah, no, that's a mop brush, and they're the only thing they're good for is holding a lot of water,
I've noticed that.
a lot of water, and like really wetting down an area. Like if you're going to paint a sky, so you'd wet it all first, and doing a lot of wet on wet technique.
It was good for the first layer with the roses, but
Yeah,
other than that, it wasn't much use.
yeah, no, it would
Gone to like
give
a
you,
round brush.
yeah. But I think even to get your centers, you need just a regular round brush, just something like that. Just a round brush will make it easier. And it's about making it easy for yourself, Nicole, if you're using the right ish brush for the job. We didn't talk about paper either. So I use 300 GSM, so it's got a good weight to it.
Yeah.
Paper comes in different weights, but it also comes in different textures. So I use cold pressed and it has a bit of texture to it. The other way you can buy watercolor paper is hot pressed, so and it's smoother. So I think of an iron has smoothed it out. So I like cold pressed because it's got more texture, and my brush tends to skip across the texture a little bit better, and I get more interesting marks. I don't know. You probably can't see it.
No, I can just.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that's lovely.
Yeah. So that's cold pressed.
I think that's what I've got.
Yeah, it's just got a bit of texture
I
to
took
it.
notice of what you said and off it went. Cold
Yeah.
press, 25% cotton.
That's okay. Good. What brand is it?
It is Fabriano. I just went to Spotlight, I'm afraid, but
Beautiful.
still
Beautiful.
start something.
Yeah. 25% cotton's better than no cotton. 100% cotton is the bee's knees.
Okay.
Yeah. And but no, the Fabriano is a good brand.
Oh, good.
They go right through. Fabriano go right through to 100% cotton. But it's more a art shop brand at 100% cotton, whereas Spotlight sell the
Basic stuff, obviously.
yeah,
Which is fair.
yeah, yeah. Perfect, really good. The book that I use for my menu book, it's a Spotlight one. They're good as well. I really like this paper. It's the paper house. I painted
Okay.
over it.
Right.
That one. I really like the
Okay.
paper, and that's from Spotlight, and it comes in a ring binder. Yeah, 300 GSM, cold pressed. I think it says acid free. I don't think it's even cotton. It might be a percentage, but it doesn't say it.
Okay. I think I saw that
like
one and I went with
It's
what I could
also-
see was sort of what you'd sent. So
Yeah.
not knowing what I was doing. So
Yeah, I love these books. These were good. These were good. Yeah. And
all right.
good
I'm
quality.
happier with this now.
There you go.
I can live with it.
The brush will help. So have a play with get some other brushes. The brand, I've got some from Spotlight that I liked. The French fill. I didn't mind them.
French fill?
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been using those for acrylics and sometimes watercolor as well. But that was the other one. Okay. Side note, I got that at Spotlight.
Okay.
There it is. And it's a Princeton brand.
Okay.
Now, this must be their student grade Princeton brand because I use the professional grade and I love them. Same brand. That's the professional grade.
Oh, so red. Okay.
They're red and these ones are blue. I really liked it.
No, well, it's
I really liked it. It's a synthetic brush, but I like them. They were good. There you go. That's a Spotlight one as well. You are. Okay. Does everyone want to hold these up so I can get a screenshot later?
yeah, of course.
Because it's not happening now. Okay. There we are. Oh, I'm upside down. There we are.
Here you go.
Oh.
Growing bit. Hold on, maybe I should de-blur.
Can you?
Okay. How on earth will I do that? There. There we go.
Beautiful. Thank you. There we are. Got that. I will get that later. All
That's
right. Thank you again. That was fun. Thursday nights are always fun.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
Lynn,
for this.
for being so quick, I will post that to you. It's yours.
Oh, thank you.
Someone will have to say, it's mine first next time and get in first. I want it. Otherwise, I'll end up with so much sitting here. So, Lynn, I'll pop that in the mail for you. There we are.
Beautiful. No, very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else? What else do we want to paint?
Oh God.
Not roses again.
Tulips.
Tulips.
Yes.
Poinsettia. Poinsettia.
Anything, actually.
Poinsettias.
Yeah.
Hey,
Christmas.
Cards for Christmas would be good.
Oh, I was going to show you. Hang on a minute. But wait, there's more. Oh, here they are. What I have done.
Lovely.
Together. So I've made a set of tutorials, and they're $25. It's on the website of Christmas cards.
Oh, that's pretty.
Another one. Just lots of ideas for you for different things and how to do them. So they're all short tutorials of about 5 to 7 minutes of different things to paint for Christmas cards. There we go. So that is, and I've just used the same paper. It's just ordinary my paper, and I have cut it up to fit, and I could just glue that onto a card, just an ordinary card that you can buy from Spotlight. So you're still using watercolor paper on top of just an ordinary card if you can't get hold of nice watercolor cards.
Spotlight does have some of that available, which I was sticky beaking up before the class.
In watercolor cards.
Yes, in 300 GSM.
Nice. Okay,
So,
good.
there was a Frenchville brand and a Cry-Cut brand, which I obviously don't know what's buying, but
I didn't know. Yeah, no, I haven't seen them.
that's
There you go. It's just a star and it's filled in. We use a few different tools like that's a needle bottle. Did I show you those before?
no.
It's just got acrylic paint in it, liquid acrylic paint, and I prefer the Jo Sonia's one, that one. So that's the gold. And I put it into a needle bottle, and you can get those at the cheap shops. Tiny little, it's got like
Yeah.
it's called a needle bottle. They come in
Right.
different sizes, and they just make the best marks. I use a needle bottle a lot. So all that is done with that in a needle bottle. And it gives your cards a little bit of texture as well because that's watercolor. that's
Yeah.
dried. And then over the top, I've used that, which is acrylic paint. So it sits on top and it gives it just a bit of texture as well.
Yeah. That.
So there.
Wow.
Anyway, we will do some Christmas cards a bit closer to Christmas. We will. Poinsettia, I'll have to think about that one.
I tried to make one myself,
Mhm.
just from the photo, but
Okay.
I only got the first layer done. I don't know if I can find it quickly, but yeah,
Mhm.
it's a lot of red. That's the thing.
But I kind of, they're kind of just like all leaves, and I suppose leaves in that shape with more leaves. Yeah,
Yeah.
the leaf shape.
Mm. It was
You know what
tricky.
you could do with that, Carrie?
Yeah.
Add some gold onto it.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh, gold fixes everything,
Fixes
doesn't
everything. My new
It's a lovely
favorite.
shape. So, you know.
I don't wear gold either, but give me gold and I'm
No,
happy.
but the leaves that you've done for the poinsettia are a lovely shape. They're really neat.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No.
Yeah. And then I started something somewhere else and I've lost it. Anyway,
We are all our worst critic, aren't we?
there. But I
Yeah.
have to do some more.
Mm. You know what you could do with that
Mm.
is the kebab stick to give it some veins, because I kind of think poinsettias are a bit like red leaves and green
Yeah.
leaves. So
Yeah.
if you use the kebab stick to give it some veins, I think that might look nice.
Thank you. Yeah,
Something to play with.
I will play.
Something to play with. Anyway, it's 8:30. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining me. And I
Thank you
look
so
forward to
You're just going to pick something out for next week?
yeah. Don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. Let me think about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no. I was going to say, do you want to do a landscape? But that might be a bit scary.
Oh, yes.
Yes?
Rather than scary. I just think the landscape might be more relaxing. Well, we give it a go.
Let's do it. We will do an easy, basic landscape, but you'll need a dryer of some sort.
Yeah.
All right.
Dry the layers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Landscape it is in 2 weeks' time.
Excellent.
All right. All right. Thank you again. You will receive, I don't have power tomorrow, so I'm not going to be able to upload the video until that power comes back on.
It's okay.
It'll be
Yeah.
out tomorrow anyway. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope I get to paint with you again.
Thanks for your patience.
No,
Yeah.
thanks for the fun. All right. Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
everyone.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.